sports simulators, axe throwing, and live music. We have something for everyone. Bogies, a new way to play.
There's a new head of admissions at Northern Maine Community College in Presque Isle, whose life story is inspiring.
I had a wonderful mom who instilled in me to work hard, have good work ethic, and she would point out other disabled people to me and say, this person can't speak, but you have a voice. And you have a good brain that God has given you.
We'll hear all about Lisa Olson's journey tonight on ABC 7 News at 6.
Bogies offers a different kind of night out in Bangor, blending a full restaurant with sports simulators, axe throwing, and live music. We have something for everyone. Bogies, a new way to play.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
This is ABC 7 News at Noon.
ICE agents are involved in a fatal shooting in Maine. Good afternoon, I'm Susan Farley. The Hancock County Sheriff's Department is investigating a woman's death in Otis, and the Penobscot County Sheriff's Office is seeking the whereabouts of an Eddington woman in connection with an infant overdose in May. Thank you for joining us. We'll have more on these and other stories coming up. First, let's check in with meteorologist Devin Biggs. Devin?
Hey Susan, happy Monday afternoon. We have a heat advisory that is up until Tuesday at around 8 p.m. for the counties highlighted here for high heat index, or feels like temperature values that can reach up to around 100 to 105 degrees at times. And with high air temperatures too, that'll be a concern. And small craft advisories posted until Wednesday at 6 a.m. along the coast. High surf will be an issue in those areas as well. Meanwhile, the radar and satellite rather quiet out there. We've had some clouds passing through this morning. This afternoon, we're not looking too bad. We'll have a surface trough moving through this afternoon. That'll give us some clouds. And then later on tonight, some precipitation will be moving in. We can see that off towards the north and west now, and that'll give us a chance for some showers and some thunderstorms coming up later on this evening. Here's Futurecast right now. We're going to be watching for the clouds moving in. Here's that chance for some rain showers and thunderstorms this evening, and now we'll start to clear out as we head towards your Tuesday. And then we'll have a morning chance for some showers and storms Tuesday, and then by Tuesday evening, that's when the strongest severe storms will begin to approach. That will really need to watch very closely. So there's a severe threat coming up as we head towards your Tuesday. Again, that will break down more in your full forecast, but your hourly forecast at the moment will have clouds moving in, temperatures in the 80s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Susan?
Thank you, Devin. One person is dead after a shooting involving ICE agents in Maine. That's according to Maine's State House Speaker. The deadly shooting happened this morning in Biddeford, south of Portland. Maine State Police are on the scene, and the FBI is expected to join the investigation. So far, no details have been released on exactly what led up to that shooting. The Hancock County Sheriff's Department is investigating a woman's death in Otis. Authorities say they received a 911 call around 7:20 Sunday afternoon reporting a woman had been found unresponsive in Beach Hill Pond off Salisbury Cove Road. Bystanders removed the woman from the water and began CPR before rescuers arrived. They continued life-saving efforts when they reached the scene, but the woman could not be saved. She has been identified as 67-year-old Deborah Wedge of Tremont. Officials say they believe she suffered a medical event while in the water. There's no indication of foul play. An Eastbrook man is facing several charges after authorities say he forced a motorcycle off the road during a road rage incident in Franklin and severely injured the driver. According to the Hancock County Sheriff's Office, a crash was reported on Blackwoods Road in Franklin shortly before 12:30 p.m. on Saturday. Police said the initial reports indicated the crash stemmed from a road rage incident in which the driver of a pickup truck intentionally struck a motorcycle, forcing the motorcycle into a guardrail. The motorcycle then lost control, left the roadway, and crashed. Authorities said the driver of the pickup truck, later identified as 43-year-old Shannon Abbott of Eastbrook, fled the scene. However, witnesses were able to provide deputies with the license plate number and locate him. The motorcycle operator was transported to the hospital and then flown to another hospital for treatment. The sheriff's office said the rider remains in serious but stable condition. Abbott was arrested and transported to the Hancock County Jail. He is being charged with elevated aggravated assault, reckless conduct with a dangerous weapon, aggravated driving to endanger, and leaving the scene of a personal injury accident. The investigation is ongoing. The Penobscot County Sheriff's Office is seeking the whereabouts of an Eddington woman in connection with an infant overdose in May. The Sheriff's Office has obtained an arrest warrant for 36-year-old Brittany Wood, who police say failed to turn herself in. She is wanted on a Class B felony of domestic violence, aggravated assault, and a Class D crime of endangering the welfare of a child. Authorities say her warrant is related to a thorough investigation of an incident where an infant overdosed on opioids in Eddington. That incident took place in May 31st. The sheriff's office said they've communicated intentions to arrest Wood to both her and her attorney, and now they're asking the public to help in locating her. Wood is listed online as a member of the RSU 63 School Board. We've reached out to members of the school board and the school board department for confirmation and comment, but have yet to hear back. If you have any information on Wood's whereabouts, please contact the Penobscot Regional Communications Center at 207-947-4585 to report her location. A man from Maine is facing charges after leading police on a chase into New Hampshire. Police say it started at the Alpha Sports Center in Limerick early Sunday morning when a man was spotted slumped over the wheel. Officials say the man took off when police knocked on his window and rammed a state police cruiser while trying to get away. The pursuit ended in Wakefield, New Hampshire, when the vehicle went off the road and crashed into some woods. 36-year-old James King is now facing a number of charges, and police believe alcohol played a role in that incident. Firefighters are keeping their eye on flames that erupted Sunday in Otisfield. That's where a woods fire spread to about 5 acres in size. The fire is contained, but the fire department says the heat and dry weather could cause the flames to spread again. Authorities will continue to monitor it and are urging people to be cautious if traveling in that area. The Maine Supreme Court has rejected an appeal that sought to place a citizens' initiative dealing with transgender athletes on the ballot. Secretary of State Shannon Bellows invalidated more than 1,500 signatures from the state petition circulators. The referendum sought to ban transgender girls from female school sports. In response, Bellows said, quote, "Citizens' initiatives are a powerful tool of direct democracy in our state, and Maine voters should have just as much confidence in petition integrity as they do in the security of our elections. This petition did not meet legal requirements for inclusion and therefore did not qualify for ballot after our legal review." The Protect Girls Sports in Maine Ballot Committee saying they disagree with that decision, saying in part, quote, "The Protect Girls Sports in Maine Committee disagrees with the law court's decision and has already filed suit in federal court. 1,520 otherwise valid voter signatures hang in the balance. We intend to see that process through," end quote. Advocates for Maine's LGBTQ community say it's a success. Gia Drew, the executive director of Equality Maine, said in part, quote, "All students should feel welcome and included at school, including trans kids who deserve the same opportunities as their peers." Today's ruling from the Maine Supreme Court clarifies and upholds Maine's commitment to ensure that there's a fair and just process related to citizens' petitions. Coming up on ABC 7 News at noon, there are more details about the process to replace Graham Plattner in the Senate race. We'll have details when we return.
Did you know Susan Collins was the deciding vote for Donald Trump's Supreme Court justices who overturned Roe v. Wade? And she voted to put more than 100 Trump judges on the bench. Because of Susan Collins, states are banning abortion with no exceptions for rape or incest. and women are dying. And she's still standing by it.
I do not regret that vote.
Tell Susan Collins, stop voting for Trump's anti-choice judges.
A car accident can happen at any time, and it can completely disrupt your life. You're dealing with expensive medical bills, lost earnings, pain and suffering. It may feel like the sky is falling. That's when you call the twos. You don't have to deal with it alone. I've helped thousands of people and recovered millions of dollars from my clients. Hurt in a car accident, I'm on top of it. I'm your go-to guy.
Call 222-2222.
Why should your new floor come from Carpet One? Because we're passionate about the spaces our neighbors call home. We're part of your community, and we're also part of the world's largest cooperative of independently owned and operated flooring stores. So you can be sure you'll get great selection and outstanding value with every installation. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, tile, or luxury vinyl, our experts take the guesswork out of choosing the right floor. We're your local Carpet One Floor and Home, the one store for your perfect floor.
I went through a pretty bad divorce. My ex handled all the finances and ruined my credit. No money in savings, and an 8-year-old daughter that I was trying to raise. My coworker said, try your local credit union. It changed my life. The credit union actually cared about my story and not just what was on paper. I just got pre-approved for a home loan to buy our first house. The credit union, they gave me the confidence I needed. They were like family.
He refused to take a repossession sitting down.
I made a partial payment of $170.
I don't care if he made a partial payment. He didn't make a payment.
So Mom...
What?
I just want to say, I've been making the payments for him.
...stands up for her boy.
She was trying to catch up.
How do you know what I was trying to do? There was no specific date that Albert said that those payments were to be due.
She thinks that she's cuter than I am.
Next, Judge Judy.
Monday at 5 on ABC 7.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Iran and the U.S. are trading accusations and threats following a weekend of heavy American airstrikes and Iranian rocket retaliation. Senior correspondent Mike Tobin has more from Tel Aviv.
The weekend brought another escalation in the back and forth between the U.S. and Iran. It started with Iran attacking a civilian vessel in the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. responded with airstrikes, which prompted Iranian rocket fire aimed at America's Gulf allies. Washington and Tehran are now pointing fingers and issuing new threats, both claiming the other side violated the ceasefire.
From the beginning, we said commitment in return for commitment. We have demonstrated this in practice. Whenever the other side violated its commitments, we too did not carry out ours.
If the Iranians want to act belligerent, then he will respond with overwhelming force.
It's not clear at this point if the White House is still looking for a diplomatic solution. The conflict is now clearly focused on the Strait of Hormuz, and a growing number of experts are saying only military force can keep it open.
In the end, this regime is likely never to change its way. They told us it was accidental that they fired at these ships. Wow, that's really bad.
On Monday, both Iran and the U.S. claimed they have control over the strait. The U.S. Navy is escorting ships through using a southern route near the coast of Oman. But with Iran still targeting tankers, it's not clear when the situation will stabilize.
Iran is using asymmetric warfare. They're using their drones and what's left of their missile capability to disrupt trade, and we've got to put a stop to that.
Negotiators from Pakistan and Egypt are now scrambling to get the ceasefire back in place, even though President Trump suggested it is now over. In Tel Aviv, Mike Tobin, Fox News.
In southeastern Ukraine, a Russian strike on the city of Zaporizhzhia killed at least 2 and injured nearly a dozen others. Among them is a 15-year-old boy said to be in serious condition. The overnight strike destroyed a residential building in the city. Today, rescue and medical services continued the work at the site. It has been a regular target of Russia's. On July 7th, drones and guided bombs damaged a private home and the city's railway infrastructure. 2 days later, Russian forces struck a gas station, destroying the village vehicles and the gas station itself. Since then, the city has faced an ongoing battering of Russian strikes. A top European Union official has called for limits to be placed on children using social media. And the special EU panel recommended restricted access for those under 13 until tech companies can prove their platforms are safe. A report from a special panel set up to study child safety online recommended that further precautionary age restrictions should be considered by the EU countries for children over 13. The European Commission president, a doctor by training, said that children under 3 years old should have no exposure to screens at all. The EU's powerful executive branch are likely to come up with a proposal for the 27 member countries to weigh in the near future. These policy proposals have great influence with EU member countries.
The more we learn and the more we see the impact on our children, the stronger the argument becomes for social media start date. Just as we don't give our children keys to the car before they have their license, or we do not let them buy alcohol until they are legally allowed, we need to set the age at which the children can legally access social media.
Growing awareness of the dangers social media poses for young, developing brains has shown up in a wave of new restrictions globally. Australia, the UK, Turkey, Indonesia, and others have passed bans on kids 16 or 15 from platforms like TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. The deadline is drawing closer for the Maine Democratic Party to submit a new nominee for the U.S. Senate after Grant Plattner withdrew his candidacy on Friday. Over the weekend, the party issued a call to hold a nomination convention on July 25th. On Sunday, they announced the process by which Democrats in Maine's 16 counties will choose delegates for that convention. According to Charlie Dingman, chair of the Maine Democratic Party, each county will hold delegate nominating meetings on July 18th or 19th. These meetings will allow eligible Democrats to vote to choose the delegates who will represent their county at the convention alongside the state committee members already chosen. Every Democrat who was registered at the time of the June 9th primary is eligible to participate.
This process belongs to Maine Democrats. We've established clear rules, equal opportunities for all candidates, and a transparent process that gives Democrats across all 16 counties a decisive voice in selecting our nominee.
The Maine Democrat Party plans to announce the date, time, and location of every county meeting by July 15th. Anyone interested in serving as a delegate needs to file a declaration of intent by 5 p.m. on July 15th. The nomination convention will be held at the Cross Insurance Center in Bangor. The newest candidate in the race, David Costello, who was just on the ballot for the U.S. Senate primary, was out collecting signatures in Brunswick yesterday. Costello ran alongside Grant Plattner and Governor Janet Mills in June. Costello received about 8% of that vote. Costello acknowledged he was one of the lesser-known candidates on the ballot, but says that won't be an issue if he wins the nomination.
Confident in my background. I'm just not confident in the amount of knowledge people have of me. But I think whoever comes out of the convention won't have any trouble attracting attention, press attention, or voter attention, and the resources needed to challenge Senator Collins in the fall.
Costello went on to say that he believes he could garner the same support as Plattner if he were to win. A vote for Collins is a vote for more of the same. That was the message from Democratic U.S. Senate candidate Dr. Nirav Shah during a town hall Sunday in Bangor, as he continues his bid to become the party's nominee. While Shah may be a new entrant into the Senate race, the former director of the Maine CDC for Disease Control and Prevention is already a familiar figure to many Mainers. Earlier this year, Shah mounted a bid for governor, leading the field in the early rounds of ranked choice tabulation before ultimately finishing second to Hannah Pingree in June. After Grant Plattner announced last week that he would withdraw from the Senate race, Shah moved quickly to position himself as a candidate capable of both uniting the party and taking on Collins next November.
What I am pledging and committing to today is to continue the tradition of open, accessible, and accountable governance, so that even when I am your U.S. Senator, that connection that we formed way back during very dark times does not get frayed, it does not get severed. And that is a promise that you all can take. that she has not been.
Since announcing his campaign last week, Shah has begun holding a series of town halls across the state where he has emphasized his ability to both challenge political norms within the party and defeat Susan Collins as one of the nation's most closely watched Senate races. Shah also announced last night that he has already collected the 500 signatures required to qualify for the nominating convention. After the break, some local veterans were honored yesterday. We'll be right back.
Webb's RV Center has a 4-acre lot with over 75 previously owned campers all on sale, plus another 4 acres of new RVs and motorhomes. Webb's RV will take anything in trade. You can buy a camper anywhere, but be sure to buy your next camper at your local neighbor. A website can't service your RV, but Webb's RV will. And they have the biggest service department in the state of Maine to help you enjoy your RV or motorhome.
So come on down, neighbor. The coffee pot's on and the pencil is sharp.
Driving is what drives me. The road, it's always felt like home. Out here, I can chase the rush, feel the adrenaline, live the joy of the track. But when the day winds down, it's back to real life, back to the daily drive. That's why I choose AAA Auto Insurance. With AAA on board, I earn discounts for driving responsibly. So I know wherever the road leads, AAA is by my side.
After an accident, you need to protect your future.
Right away, I could tell the insurance company wasn't going to be helpful, and that's when I called Joe.
The Maine law firm with the experience, resources, and power to get you all the money you deserve.
Joe Bornstein got me more than I expected and faster than I thought possible. I call that success.
Tell the insurance company you mean business. Call Joe, the law offices of Joe Bornstein.
Accidents happen to be their specialty.
Carpets looking tired, stained, or just plain dirty? It's time to call the pros. At C&R Carpet Cleaning, we use deep steam technology to remove dirt, odors, pet hair, and allergens fast. Fresh, clean carpets, healthier home. That's the C&R promise. Visit our Facebook page for a free estimate or call us today, 631-7380. Step into clean with C&R Carpet Cleaning.
There's a new head of admissions at Northern Maine Community College in Presque Isle, whose life story is inspiring.
I had a wonderful mom who instilled in me to work hard, have good work ethic, and she would point out other disabled people to me and say, this person can't speak, but you have a voice. And you have a good brain that God has given you.
We'll hear all about Lisa Olson's journey tonight on ABC 7 News at 6.
All right, I'll admit it, I love ice cream. I think it goes back to when I was a kid, and almost every day I would wait for the ice cream truck. Between the fudge pops, ice cream sandwiches, and the Italian ices, I'm sure I'm not alone. So for all you diehard ice cream lovers, let me remind you that July is National Ice Cream Month. Sort of think of it as a permission slip to indulge all month long. So whether you prefer ice cream novelties or you're more of a scooper, make sure you stock up, because all month long there are lots of sales in the ice cream aisle. One of my favorites this time of year is an old-fashioned ice cream soda. And with all the different types and flavors of ice cream, and frozen yogurt, the possibilities are endless. Want to go trendy? Simply top a few scoops of gelato with some sparkling water mixed with a bit of chocolate sauce and sip away. Or if you're more of a traditionalist, how about making a drive-in style root beer float? This will not only satisfy your taste buds, it'll bring back all sorts of memories. Looking to go a bit fruitier? Then why not fill a tall glass with scoops of rainbow sherbet and lemon lime soda and finish it off with some whipped cream. If you want all these recipes, the trendy Italian ice cream soda, the old-fashioned root beer float, and the rainbow sipper, go online now so you can try new combos all month long. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a cooler way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
The Daughters of the American Revolution's Bangor chapter held a special event honoring local veterans and community members Saturday. The organization consists of local women who are direct descendants of the Revolutionary War soldiers. In Herman, they gathered to recognize veterans with Quilts of Valor, the handmade quilts awarded to those who touched by the war, to thank them for their service and as a symbol of comfort and healing.
You know, myself and another female veteran in the chapter, and we were graciously awarded Quilts of Valor. It's nice to get recognition, you know, for the sacrifices that we made.
Additionally, they awarded a prestigious Distinguished Citizens Medal to Doc Goodwin for his work as president of the Maine Veterans Project. They also gave a $1,000 donation to that organization.
For MVP being an 11-year-old organization, to be recognized by such a prestigious and long-standing organization such as the DAR was very, humbling, very special, and it's truly amazing to show that people see what we do.
For more information on the Greater Bangor DAR chapter, visit this story on our website. When we return, Devin Biggs has your 5-day forecast.
I got hurt by a big truck. Why did I call the twos? Because life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money, and I'll fight to get it for you. We got a client who broke multiple bones in a commercial vehicle accident, $700,000. Another client had a brain injury, and we got them $1.15 million. If you get hurt by a big truck, call the twos. We win for you.
Hurt by a big truck, call the twos. We win for you.
Hi, I'm Tony with TC Hafford Basement Systems. All things basementy. Is your foundation shifting, settling, or cracking? Don't wait till it's too late. We offer the most reliable solutions to lift and stabilize your sinking foundation. With our advanced piering techniques, we'll ensure your home is back on solid ground. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems today for all things basementy.
Did you know Susan Collins was the deciding vote for Donald Trump's Supreme Court justices who overturned Roe v. Wade? And she voted to put more than 100 Trump judges on the bench. Because of Susan Collins, states are banning abortion with no exceptions for rape or incest. And women are dying. And she's still standing by it.
I do not regret that vote.
Tell Susan Collins, stop voting for Trump's anti-choice judges.
Keep your boat safe, functional, and beautiful with a Shoremaster boat lift from Hammond Lumber Company. Your Hammond sales rep can help you choose the perfect lift for your boat. Shoremaster's exclusive Whisperer winch offers the industry's smoothest and quietest operation. Add speed and convenience with a Shoremaster lift motor. And Shoremaster's modular Infinity design makes it easy to upgrade with accessories when you're ready. Take your boating experience to the next level with a Shoremaster boat lift from Hammond Lumber Company.
Let's check your full forecast with Devin Biggs. Devin?
Alrighty, Susan, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. Alrighty, here we go. Advisories posted for the heat. We have a heat advisory up for the areas highlighted for it feels like temperatures of around 100 to 105 degrees. High air temperature is also a concern until 8 p.m. for your Tuesday. Small crowd advisory is also up until Wednesday at around 6 a.m. along the coast. Here's where we're at right now. Wave heights very quiet, so they're not in effect just yet, but we are expecting high surf coming up rather soon, hence why those advisories are up. Meanwhile, on land, we've had some clouds passing through. We're quiet for now, but we are going to be watching for a surface trough off toward the north and west that will be approaching. There it is right there. That will be moving in, giving us a few showers and thunderstorms thunderstorms. Eventually, we have some chances for strong to severe storms coming up as we head towards late Tuesday afternoon into Tuesday evening. So there's a chance for showers and thunderstorms coming up later on this evening. Now we'll get out of here pretty quickly. And then for your Tuesday, a morning round of showers and thunderstorms will pass through. The severe chances arrive late afternoon Tuesday and a Tuesday night. And then now we'll get out of here early Wednesday morning. Here's a severe threat we're monitoring right now. This is it right here. A large hail damaging wind and isolated tornado threat coming up late Tuesday afternoon into Tuesday night. So we have a day to watch this, and the threat's only been increasing as we were watching a slight risk yesterday. Now we're up to an enhanced risk, so a 3 out of 5 risk now. So we need to watch this very closely as it does develop. So for today, we have increasing clouds, breezy, highs in the upper 80s, and at southwest wind at around 25 miles per hour. Tonight, mid-60s, mostly cloudy, a chance for showers and thunderstorms, with the wind overall looking nice and calm. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a chance for strong to severe thunderstorms late, with highs in the low 90s, and at southwest wind at around 25 miles per hour. Let's check out your extended forecast for your Wednesday. Mostly sunny with highs in the mid-80s. Thursday, showers and thunderstorms with highs in the low 80s. And then Friday, partly cloudy with highs in the upper 70s.
Thank you, Devin. Thousands flocked to downtown Bangor to appreciate some local art on Saturday. The annual Summer Sidewalk Art Festival brought art lovers from all over the community to enjoy a wide array of art handcrafted by local individuals. The event offered everything from paintings to jewelry to live music, food, and much more. Organizers say the event offers something for everyone and helps support small businesses all over the Bangor area.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's easy to forget how much fun it is to go out and just be around other people who are doing other things, and I think it's a good opportunity for that. We really try to cover all the bases, make sure that we have a really broad definition of what the word art is in order to help everybody engage.
Lundy says the Downtown Bangor Partnership will be holding another Sidewalk Art Festival this fall. That's all for ABC 7 News at noon. Thanks for watching. I'm Susan Farley. We'll see you this evening on ABC 7 News at 6. Have a great afternoon.
If you've been hurt, we can take your case for free, and you don't owe us a penny unless we win. A free call and a free consultation could set you free from your car accident problems. I'm your go-to guy.
Your cat was attacked.
You're not taking any responsibility. How do I know our cat didn't die of old age? So you think that having a cat in your dog's mouth is painless?
Hot Bench.
Monday at 3 on ABC 7.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
The following is a paid advertisement for Plexiderm Skincare.
Watch this. It's all 100% real.